Hey Nitwittians, we have an awesome Asus Rog Strix laptop to show you this evening. I just want to get down to the nitty-gritty of what's going to be in this video. We are going to do an unboxing, a benchmark. We are going to go through how to do a quick upgrade if you want, and we're also going to get into the BIOS. And that's what's going to be in store for this video. All right, Nitwittians, we are going to jump right into this box. I will have the model number for this PC down here below because, well, it's a mouthful. And other than that, let's get into this bad mamma jamma. Let's see what's inside. I know that she has Windows 10. Home 64-bit. We do have a seal right here that we have to cut. So it's a Ryzen 9 5900HX 8-core 16 thread. It's a base clock of 3.3 gigahertz and a boost of 4.60. So she's sitting on 16 megabytes of L3 cache. And yeah, let's get into the box. Ooh, she's looking nice. Not as fancy as the first unboxing I did with one of these, but yeah. So there's our laptop. It is wrapped up in plastic. It looks like it was supposed to pop out like that. Yeah, so it was actually supposed to pop out, and it didn't. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now she popped up to present her the computer to you. Set that to side. Let's get in our box here. We got two other ports, right and left, and then we have a center port, which that has our documentation and paperwork, which is really not all that important. Got our serial number and stuff like this. Keep this somewhere safe, so if you need your serial number, you can give it to you know, your RMA stuff. Keep it in the box if you keep your box. Then we're gonna go to the left side, which if you ordered a mouse, there would be a mouse in here. But of course we didn't order a mouse or a headset. And then of course we have our Asus block. This is a 280 watt or 240 watt max AC adapter block. It is enough to run the 3060 or 3070 version. And of course our nifty box that you can set off to the side. And this is pretty much what comes in your box, is a power cable, power brick, and your laptop. Let's get our stuff unpackaged here. They do kind of a nice job. I do like the box, and I like how it presents. Oh, it looks like they put some rubber feet on the back here. If you look right here, there's rubber. This is probably for anti-slip. Yeah, all the feet are rubber. So if you're on a surface that's kind of slippery, your laptop's not going to go flying off. Even right here is rubber too. They got a rubber pad right here and a rubber pad right here. And of course we got RGB that goes around the whole front right here, and the symbol right here. Let's go ahead and open the laptop. And it looks like the screen is pretty stout. It's not gonna, it is metal. It is an aluminum case. And for this to run at its best performance, you need to have the power brick plugged in. You can still game without it, but it's not going to do the best gaming that it can do, because you really do need this power brick. The battery life you're going to look at with gaming, you're going to last about 40 minutes unless you go on low powered mode or low performance mode. Then you can get up to 8 hours, but who's going to game in low performance mode? I mean, I guess you could if you're playing a simple, easy game. And this takes just a normal power cable for a computer. Let me go over the ports that are on it and what's here. So let's close it down really quick. And from the left side, we have two USB 5 gigabit per second ports. This is a headphones microphone combo jack. And then if we come to the rear, we have our power port, a 10-1000 Ethernet adapter, an HDMI port for a secondary monitor, a USB-C, and then we have another 3.12 USB-C. And that, I mean, even look at the design on that case. That's pretty cool. The lettering, they did a nice job with that. That is really neat. I will say Asus did a cool job with the aesthetics of this laptop. We might as well, you know what, before we even turn around, why don't we break her open and look in what's under the hood. I won't make you guys suffer through taking these screws apart. One thing I will say is get a tray like this and match all these screws, because they are not the same size. So when you take it apart, you know, start from one side, take this screw out, and put that in its corresponding corner. They do put Loctite on these screws, so they might be a little bit hard to initially unthread. So there's 4 screws on the top, 3 in the center, and then 4 on the bottom. This one will retain itself. It's supposed to help you pop the case open. And I don't know if you could see that, but you can see how that's a shorter screw than these guys. So just keep them separated and keep them in their own spot. And I like to get a little pry bar or something plastic to get into here. Even though they put this screw to try to kind of pop it open for you, it really doesn't. So this thing does have an RTX 3060 inside, which is a 6 gigabit card. It is overclocked to 1860. It will boost up to 1860. First pop is always the hardest. I would suggest not to use a screwdriver when you're doing this. Get one of these plastic tools, order them from Amazon or iFixit, or just order the iFixit kit that you see me messing around here with, and then you just got to pop it all the way down. And then be careful with the RGB lights. So I usually come forward with a case like this. But there's a little tab right here that if you click forward, I'll just do it really quick. See, I click it forward. I don't know if you guys can see that. I will have the zoom camera look at it really quick, but this comes apart. So if you look right here, see how this tab flips up and down? If you flip this forward, this will actually release your cable, and the other one's right here. Your memory is actually protected underneath these stickers right here. And we do see we got a 1, 2, 3 heat pipe design. One of these heat pipes are shared with the GPU and CPU. And then we do have a 1, 2, 3, 4 heat pipe design that actually crisscross both fans. We already have an M.2 installed underneath here. And if I take this M.2 out, guys, this is your boot drive. Don't lose the screw here. But if you guys see, I pop this guy up, watch what's underneath here. There's your Wi-Fi card. If you ever have issues with your Wi-Fi or you're wondering what's going on, but this is a Wi-Fi 6 card. And if you got another spare M.2, you can put it right here and you're off to the races. Of course, let's show some other stuff. Our speakers are right here, facing this way. On both sides, they are rubber mounted. And if you're going to be messing around in here, they do say you should disconnect the battery. No, sorry, this cable right here. This pops forward. I guess I could do it for y'all really quick. Your liquid metal that's underneath here, you're going to want to pop this up, and this comes forward like this. And then this pops up, and that's your batteries out. The battery is a larger battery than I've seen in the other one. It does boast a 90 watt 4 lithium cell battery. So it does look like it's a little bit bigger than what's in the other one. And if you're going to put this back on, just make sure you get the connector center and push straight down. And don't hesitate. You see a little spark, just don't hesitate and get that thing on down. Make sure it's locked. And of course our battery cable is locked. It does look like it has an easy connect right here. So Asus was thinking about this, so you don't have to mess around with this connection, and you can actually disconnect it from right there. There we go, our battery is put back into place. Yeah, it does look like a larger battery than what came with the other Asus. Of course, the other Asus's battery is about this big, and it looks like you can put an SSD right here. Some of the laptops they do have, you can put an SSD right there. So I'm guessing they're sacrificing battery for that extra storage, or vice versa. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this top back on here, and we are gonna go over some more of the stats with this. It does boast 16 gigs of RAM. You can put up to 64 gigs in here, and it's DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM. The screen is a 17.3 144 hertz LCD IPS. It is not touch screen. It is only a 1080p, 19 by 1080p screen. This is 16 gigs of RAM that's in here. It's 2x 8 gigs, which is, at least they're supporting dual channels, so Asus is doing the right thing. This NVMe is a 512 gigabyte .2 NVMe PCIe 3.0. And of course the graphics card is boasting a 3060. The graphics card is only 115 watt, or will dynamically boost up to 130 watts. I think I said 1850 was its max. It's 1802 megahertz is what they have this clocked up to. You could overclock it if you want to. I will break out the tape measure and let you guys see how big this thing is. In this direction is 15.5, and our length is 11.25. So it's 11.25 tall, lengthwise. So if you're looking for a big for this guy, that's what you're going to be looking for. Of course, our depth is about probably an inch. But let me guys show you really quick how to put this back together. You're going to take the front like this, lean it up against here, and there's little tabbies on here that allow you to push these cables in. There's little blue tabs. It's kind of hard to see. And there's a white line on there that you got to get it up to. So get it up to the white line and snap. Give it a little small tug. And then the second one for this right here. Get it up to the white line. You can push on the blue thing, the little blue tab that they have right here, and then snap it down. Give it just a little tug. That feels good. How this case goes on, the back goes on first. So where the fan shroud is, this goes down first. Snap that in, and then you snap forward. And there we go. Nice and streamlined, everything snapped together. There we go. I'm not going to make you guys suffer through putting the screws back together, but let's get this thing rocking and rolling, and I will show you the second monitor booted up, and we will get into the BIOS and do a benchmark for y'all. All right, guys, we're going to hit this F2 key. We're going to start tapping this while we hit the power key, and this is going to let us into the BIOS. There really is nothing special in the BIOS, so I'm going to go ahead and hit F2 and hit power. Keep tapping F2. There's no overclocking stuff. If you're going to want to overclock this, you're going to want to download Ryzen Master. It does show you some battery stuff. You can go to advanced menu down here. There is Armory Crate interface support enabled, the SMV mode. If you got BIOS flashing stuff, you can come into right here. This will let you BIOS flash quick. We got smart settings, network stack configuration, which you'll probably never use, USB configuration, SATA configuration, your NVMe configuration. If you're trying to do something with NVMe's, it's right here. And then of course we got boot. You can select your boot options if you change it with your NVMe. This might be useful here. We got security. You can put a administration password on here. You can do secure boot stuff. That's right here, and then save and exit. And that's pretty much the BIOS, guys. If you make any changes in here, we'll label what you've changed. So we're gonna go ahead and exit out of here, hit OK. One thing I didn't go over the overview with this, guys, is it does come with Bluetooth 5.1 dual band, so you can hook up cell phones and media devices like that. There is one USB 3.2 Gen 2 on the back, I think I said. There is 3 USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A's. Them are the ones on the outside that I was talking about. And yeah, them are the ports on the outside, guys. We are gonna jump into doing a benchmark and get this thing rocking and rolling. The 2 speakers on here are nice and loud. They are louder than the previous version of this. It does have AI mic noise canceling software and Dolby Atmos software and a smart amp technology and all sorts of cool stuff built into the software. There is some bloatware on here. I would automatically remove the McAfee and Office stuff that Windows puts on here. There's 2 things of McAfee that show up on here, and then there's 3 things of the Open Office that I would remove. There's no reason to have it there. You do got a really cool keyboard with the WASD keys lit up like this. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. This is for gaming, where you're going to usually keep your movement keys and keep your hand. The keys do have a nice soft feel to them, and the J key and F key do have little bumps on them, and as long as the W key does. So guys, we're going to get the benchmark rocking and rolling, and I'll bring you back for that. All right, Nitwittians, we're back here. We ran our second benchmark, a little bit lower of a score. We scored 8,979 versus our 9,000 on our first score. But Battlefield 5 on 1080p is 105 frames per second. And of course, Apex Legends, we're looking at about 140. GTA 5, 80 frames per second. Fortnite, 1080p, we're looking at 125 frames per second. And of course, Red Dead Redemption 2, or RDA 2, 40 frames per second. 1440p, you're looking at 35 frames per second. And let's just go back up to Battlefield 5, 85 frames per second. Apex Legends, looking at about 95 frames per second. GTA 5, 55 frames per second. Fortnite, looking at about 90 frames per second. And then Red Dead Redemption is 35. All right, guys, so I'm going to give this thing 2 thumbs up approval. You got upgradability. You know, you can put more M.2s in it. You can put more memory in it. Of course, the GPU and CPU are stuck what they are. But it's a good platform to get a good start from. I would say get a pair of headsets and maybe a mouse, something like a Razer, something cheap, or even a USB one, and then get yourself a mouse. Because I'm going to tell you, trying to do a touchpad with this laptop is not going to be fun. So these are going to be accessories that you are going to want to buy with a laptop. And then of course case, because you know it's mobile. Unless you're going to be sitting at a desk with this, if you are sitting at a desk with this, get one of the platforms that has a fan beneath it that's going to keep this thing nice and cool. Otherwise, if you want to get something for being mobile, get yourself one of these. These little things that set the laptop up. It'll keep it off of stuff, and yeah. This one's a little bit small for the 17-inch. This is good for like a 15-inch laptop. They do make ones for 17-inch laptops though, a little bit larger. But other than that, guys, yeah, this gets 2 thumbs up approval from TechNitwit, and I would say that Asus did an awesome job. I do want to mention one thing about the fans. Compared to the model that has the 20 series RTX in it, they sound like a frickin' F-16 taking off on an aircraft carrier. This thing is so silent. I have these fans maxed out right now, and let me get them going really quick here. Let me get the fans maxed out for you guys, and put my lapel mic up to them. Let's just go here and let's just drag this up. Let's check mark that. Yes. But I mean, that's hands down quieter than the laptop from before. I don't know if they went with a different blade design or what, but that sounds really nice. All right, guys, even with the fans like that, I'm going to still give this thing 2 thumbs up approval. These are a lot quieter than the first generation fans. That thing sounds like it's, I'm going to say that this is like a jet from maybe 500 feet away. But my fans upstairs sound like you're like sitting there like 2 feet away and the jet's like on you and it's like. So, yeah, I'm going to say that this does a little bit better of a job with the dampening and the quietness of it. I don't like how they painted the heat pipes with paint. I think that that's the worst thing you can do with anything that's going to be drawing heat off. I think anodization on heat sinks is stupid because you're just making it harder for it to lose that heat. So, guys, all around, this laptop scores 2 thumbs up. I mean, I'm not going to give it 3. You know, I mean, it's not going to be like the Legion. That thing is freaking awesome as a pre-built, but this thing is smoking. This is the laptop you want to buy if you're looking to get a laptop. I know Lenovo and MSI have laptops that have offerings. They're also good laptops too, but if you want something with a name brand that's known and is trusted and has some good warranties behind it, I can tell you I had because I use this for portable editing, I had the monitor go out. I sent it back to Asus, got it back a week later. It took them about a week turnaround and they fixed my laptop. And if they don't fix your laptop, they will send you a newer model of that kind and whatnot. This comes with a 1-year warranty and a 1-year accidental, but make sure you sign up for it. If you don't register the laptop, you don't get it. Other than that, guys, this was TechNitwit, and I hope you guys liked, comment, and subscribe. If you disliked the video, dislike it, but at least leave me a comment and tell me why you disliked it. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys liked the video, and TechNitwit, and I'm out, y'all. Hey guys, it's TechNitwit here. Make sure you guys subscribe and like and hit that bell. Thanks.